Students, I think we can start the class. Am I audible to everyone? Okay. So let's talk about the topic called as biodiversity and conservation. We have started the topic in the last class, and first part of the lesson we have already discussed. In the last class, what we have discussed is we have talked about the term called as biodiversity, and when we talk about biodiversity, we understand that we are talking about the different and the diverse forms of organisms present in this earth, right? That is the meaning of biodiversity. What we have discussed is topic like levels of biodiversity, where we have talked about what? Genetic level, right, species level, etc., etc. We have also talked about pattern of biodiversity, how the biodiversity changes according to two gradient, that is according to the latitude and according to the altitude, right? And together with that, we have also talked about a particular graph, that hyperbola, that straight line. I think we have discussed everything in that class. Today, what we are going to start the class with is the topic called as, or the unit called as, we have to speak about loss of biodiversity. No doubt there are hundreds and thousands of organisms present in this world, but in spite of that, there are certain causes due to which there is always a loss of biodiversity. Talking about the loss, why is it like this, that biodiverse forms are declining? Why is the number declining? Why is the habitat area declining? So there are certain factors because of this. Before going into the causes of the loss, we have certain types of data that was given or that is shared to us by IUCN. I think you know what is IUCN. IUCN of full form ki asile? International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, right? So according to IUCN, we have certain data, and from examination point of view, obviously this is the data that you need to remember, right? As far as loss is concerned, say kiman loss hoise, no? If you are talking about birds, we have a particular percentage according to them. So they say that this is the percentage that is, that is considered as loss in that group. So we'll start the class with that data, and then we'll go for the causes of biodiversity. So heading koriba, loss of biodiversity. And that likha, according to IUCN, This part of the chapter you have to by heart, right? Questions has been asked about the different percentage of extinction. So if you are talking about birds, according to IUCN, it's almost 12% that has been extinct. Similarly, gymnosperms, mammals and amphibians. If you are talking about the total number of extinct species by IUCN, it is 784. So data you need to by heart. Next, right? Huh? Okay, as far as the extinctions are concerned or the examples are concerned, nothing in details, okay. So question might be asked as identify the organism facing extinction or identify the extinct species, etc., etc. So what is the organism, where is it found? These are the things that you don't have to remember. If you are talking about dodo, we understand that this is nothing but a bird, right? And if you are talking about quagga, what is quagga? It is a small zebra-like animal. Like if you are talking about a zebra, I think we understand, right? If it's shorter than a zebra, it looks something like that. It's a quagga. If you are talking about thylacine, it is what will you say? It looks like almost like a big cat, right? Then Steller sea cow. It is obviously aquatic organism or aquatic animal. It looks almost like a dolphin, not exactly like a dolphin, but of that huge structure, right? And obviously these are tigers, not very important. Out of this, maximum question has been asked about number 1 and number 4, right? Next is certain points again. Yes? Extinct. So, কিছুমান terms আছে, okay? We'll be studying about those terms. If you have heard something called as a red list, after this we are going to discuss about the red list. Red list ketaman words আছে, and these words are something called as extinct in the wild, vulnerable, endangered. So, if you know the definition, then the words would become clear. Since you asked me a question about extinct species, a species is said to be extinct when all the members have died. ঠিক আছে, তাতো আকৌ কথা আছে, extinct in the wild বুলিও এটা টার্ম আছে। ঠিক আছে, আমি অলপ পিছত এইখিনি ডিটেইলছ কৰাই আছো। Okay? Once we discuss, all the words will become clear. As of now, just these are certain facts that were provided by the IUCN. এইখিনি উপায় নাই, you have to by heart and just go through. Nothing to explain. So, as we are going to talk about the loss of biodiversity, these are certain types of information, certain type of facts provided by the IUCN. So, the percentage and everything, this is something that we need to remember, right? Nothing to explain because I think the lines are clear, right? So, the next point, after you complete this, we have to discuss about, since we know now that there are a lot of species that has already become extinct, we have to talk about what is the reason for extinction or what is the cause for extinction. So, if this is over, the next topic that you will write is cause for biodiversity loss. Please make that topic, if this is over. Causes of biodiversity loss. Is this part over? Online students, likha hol ne? Okay. Junkita mark korisu monot rakhiba de. This. Ha. .4. Sorry. Okay, it will be 2.4, okay, not 3.4. Thank you. Please change this. I got a 3.4 actually it's 2.4. Okay. Now coming to the causes of biodiversity loss, there are certain causes. The first cause being destruction of habitat. Right? If you are talking about destruction of habitat, I think the term itself is understood. So, as the area or the habitat, the area of the habitat or the area where organisms are found, since its area is reducing, so obviously the number of species present in that area is also reducing. So, one cause of biodiversity loss is the habitat loss, and when we talk about habitat loss, under this category, ketaman bostu ase, deforestation that leads to the loss of habitat, developmental work, right. So, if you are talking about reducing the habitat, these are the causes because of which the habitat keeps on reducing or is being reduced. First, deforestation, nothing to explain in deforestation, we understand. Forestation, deforestation, we understand. Developmental work, obviously new cities, new places are being built, and so the original habitat has been destroyed and cities are building up. Talking about habitat fragmentation, fragmentation is nothing but breaking up. So, if you are talking about a main habitat like this, so if this habitat gets broken down into sections, right, maybe if suppose there was at a particular time the entire was occupied by species, what did people do? People has taken away this area maybe for building houses and all those. So, gradually what happened, maybe this was for building houses, another area has been occupied for maybe formation of industries and all those, right. So, what we've seen is, if we are talking about the main habitat, sometimes what happens, the main habitat gets broken down into fragments and only a small portion is left behind. This is the area where the species are found. Originally ki asle gute area to paisilu, right. Now, because of certain types of developmental works or maybe due to different upcoming projects, the area has been reduced, and this is one cause of biodiversity. Nothing in detail, just remember the words, right. And as far as the primary cause is concerned, no, this one is supposed to be the primary cause of loss, because there are some others also. Primary cause boli mark kora. The second reason is, or the cause is, over exploitation. Over exploitation mane? One example could be So, what is over exploitation? Over exploitation could also be talked about as excessive hunting. Because of excessive hunting, these are the examples of organisms, these are the examples of animals that were or that became extinct. The third cause is introduction of exotic species. You have a particular habitat. In that habitat, what you do is you bring some species or you bring some organisms from outside, and then their reproductive capacity increases. As a result, what happens? It poses a threat to the local habitat and the local species. That is what is called as introduction of exotic species. And when we talk about exotic species, the organisms that are brought from outside and introduced in our country, that is called as exotic. We have to talk about specially one example, that is, okay, give me one example that is causing a threat. Parthenium. Have you heard about that? Congress grass? Yeah. So this is a point that we are going to continue. So this is also a cause for biodiversity loss. Examples of exotic species: water hyacinth or scientific name ki Eichhornia. Again, out of these examples, 3, 4 and 5. Parthenium, not very important that you should remember the species, only the name of the genus is important, right? Parthenium boliyo dibo pare ba Congress grass boliyo dibo pare, so both the two words, right? Next, similarly in this case, Nile perch, obviously it's a bird. Talking about African catfish, you have to remember this term African catfish and also its scientific name Clarius, right? As far as species is concerned, not important. Oh, carrot grassula, Congress grass, carrot grass or Parthenium, right? Carrot grass is okay. Mainly I mean Congress grass word to more commonly used, no? Carrot grass koi. Right? Now there are 2 points about this and this. Ekini hol niki? Is it over? Right? So when we are talking about causes of loss or causes of biodiversity loss, these 3 causes are considered to be most important in terms of or being responsible for the loss. Out of these 3 terms or these 3 points, the common or the most important for the loss is obviously habitat loss. That point is considered as the most important cause for biodiversity loss. It is not like this that only loss of habitat is responsible for biodiversity loss. We have already discussed 3 points, no? It could be loss of habitat, it could be introduction of exotic species, etc., etc. But if a question is asked, what is the primary cause responsible for the loss of biodiversity? It is always number one, that is loss of habitat, right? 2 points. A point about this bird. CICHLID, cichlid fish. Yes, please. Oh. Ha. What is the question? Or 7,200 or call 200. Oh, sorry. It is not গম পাইছো বস্তুটো it's not 7,200, it is more than 200 to যোনটো নেকি তোমালোকৰ 7 যেন লগা হৈছে, greater than, ঠিক আছে? এটা ক্লিয়াৰ হৈছে? Okay, is the info, is the writing over? Right? यार बेटा question किया है? The question is asked about the first one, okay? So you need to remember the name of the lake. You need to remember the name of the fish, and you need to remember this one, right? As far as the second one is concerned, imani question aha nahi. The next is who faces extinction out of all the species. Kisuman condition or karne easily extinct hoy. Okay. So in this entire lesson, what you have to study is only the facts and the figures, nothing else, right? So examples. Next, talking about loss. What we know up till this point, what we have discussed is we know that organisms are declining. What are the causes for extinction? The three causes we have discussed, and out of all the organisms or out of all the species, the criteria for extinction, who faces extinction more easily? Organisms with a larger body size. Kiho karne? Because used as food, because food is the most important reason that makes an organism extinct, right? If you are talking about that Steller sea cow, we have just given an example of that, that was found in Russia. That big species also got extinct because humans started eating that, right? So basically one of the most important reasons is obviously food, right? So if an organism has a larger body size as compared to an organism having a smaller body size, it's always a larger body sized organism that is more susceptible to extinction. Small population size, low reproductive rate, it's understood. High trophic level in food chain. What we understand by this line? We are talking about food chain. What is a food chain? We talk about organisms who eat them and what they eat. That is what is called a food chain. If we talk about food chain, we have a word that is called as trophic level. A particular food chain can be divided into how many trophic level? It's 3 or sometimes 4, and in very complex or in very complicated situations, it could also be divided into 5. This is something that we are going to discuss in a chapter called as ecosystem, right? Little later, we'll be starting with that topic and we'll be talking in detail. So high trophic level means we are talking about T3 or maybe T4 depending on the example that we are considering, right? So if you are talking about a food chain, the lowest level is always of the producer, and that is represented by T1 or trophic level 1. Right? Producers eaten up by herbivores. These consumers or the herbivores, they are considered as T2. Similarly, those organisms eaten by someone else, that is T3. And finally, the last one, that is called as T4. Generally, a food chain has 3 levels or 4 levels, or in maximum cases, it has only 5 levels. What is the reason behind? Food chain at level kom thake. In a food chain, the trophic levels are very less. It's either 3, 4, 5, right? 5 is very rare. What is the reason? Just one example. Energy. It's just energy, right? Because I think you all have heard something called as loss of or 10% loss of energy, right? If the energy has to move from one trophic level to the next, movement causes 10% loss. So ultimately, last ole ki thake? Energy besi na thake, no? So he karone ami ki kau? If you are talking about a food chain like this, maybe grass, then rabbit, maybe a fox, lion or tiger, whatever, right? So T1, T2, T3, T4. So ultimately this is an organism that will have the least energy, right? কারণ প্রত্যেকটা বারোতে যদি 10% লস হয়ে থাকে তেতিয়াহ'লে ultimately কি হ'ব? No doubt he is physiologically the most strongest, right? If you are comparing all this, if you are comparing a rabbit, a fox and a lion, sobotse dangor kuntu? Body size, obviously this one is big, right? Morphologically, who is the biggest? This one, right? Physiologically he might be the biggest, but if you are talking about in terms of energy, it is considered as the weakest organism, right? Why weakest? Because every transfer leads to 10% loss of energy. Details and calculation in the next chapter, ecosystem, right? Next is fixed habitat. Again, fixed habitat, organisms that always stay in a fixed habitat, they are easily susceptible or they are easily face extinction because human beings or the predators or the prey, they know where to go and find the prey, right? Predators bilake jane je kot ase bostuto, so we easily go to that area and then we can take it up. So fixed habitat. And migratory birds. Talking about migratory birds, the best example is obviously Siberian cranes. What happens to the migratory birds? Why is it like this that the migratory birds face extinction? First, so they move in a very long, they go for a very long distance, right? So in the route they might face various types of problems ki again the same thing, predator and the prey relationship, right? So these are the points. Again, explanation not necessary, just remember the points. So we have started the class with the topic called as biodiversity, levels of biodiversity, patterns of biodiversity and loss of biodiversity. Since we have already talked about loss, the next step that we should talk about is obviously conservation, right? So next likha biodiversity conservation. Why do you have to conserve? We have to conserve biodiversity because of just three reasons. First, economic importance. Economic importance, if you say, we can be using words like because we have a direct economic or we take a direct help from those. Second is, it could be, I think you have heard certain words called as narrow utilitarian effect and broad utilitarian effect, right? So because of three reasons, we conserve biodiversity. What is the first reason? Because we are economically dependent on them. For example, if you are talking about plants, we have to conserve plants because obviously we eat them up, right? It is they who gives us oxygen, right? So we are directly dependent on them. So because of a factor called as directly dependent on the organism, we need to conserve that. Second is something that we are not directly, but in a broader sense we are dependent. If you are talking about again we can take the example of plants. Eating plants means what? We are directly dependent on the food. Plants gives us oxygen, we are indirectly dependent on the plant, right? So because of factors like directly dependent or indirectly dependent, or because of a factor called as religious issues, we try to conserve certain organisms. Talking about religious issues, the best example could be the tulsi plant, right? Generally tulsi plant bilak ki koru ami sobe ghorte edal holeu ru, right? So this is again a religious factor because of which we go for conservation. So when we talk about conservation, because of three factors, likha sir, reason for conserve can be grouped under three categories. Because of three reasons mainly we conserve biodiversity. So we are dependent on the nature for direct economic benefit. If it is because of this reason, we use the word called as narrow utilitarian reason. Second is, we should conserve or we conserve because of indirect economic benefits also. That is what is called as first category is narrow utilitarian category of factor. Second is broad. So why do you conserve? You conserve because we get direct economic benefits, we get indirect economic benefits, and obviously certain things related with religion, ethics, etc. So ইয়াৰ পৰা question কি আহিব পাৰে যে what you understand by this term? What you need to remember? The word direct benefit. Similarly, if you are talking about broad, then you have to remember the word indirect benefit. Direct benefit, it's narrow. Indirect benefit is called as broad. Only the meaning, that's all. And as far as ethical factors are concerned, nothing in details. If you conserve a particular organism because of your religious factor or religion, because of your religion or due to your religious ideologies, that everything comes under what? Ethical, right? Khali important direct or indirect word gita. Next, since we are talking about economic importance, so we have to learn about the examples of certain plants. Heading kora economic importance. We conserve plants since we are we are in a botany class, so we are more concerned with the plants. We go for conservation of the plants because they are of economic value, right? When we are talking about economic value, some of the examples you need to remember. Plants like pinus, abies, etc. Catechu, CATECHU. কোৱা কাচ কাচ CUTCH কাঠা আমি পানত যোনটো ৰঙা ৰঙা বস্তু লগাওঁ ন পান খাই পাইছা নাই দেখিছা নাই খাই পাইছা নাই বাদ দিয়া ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট নহয় হা দেখিছা চ' সেই ৰঙা ৰঙা বস্তু এটা লগাওঁ ন ৰেড কালাৰ এটা so that is what is called as katha it's hardwood of acacia catechu this is one important example you need to remember hardwood I think we understand or we don't understand two words no hardwood sapwood right something from which lesson plant anatomy as far as economic importance is concerned which has more economic importance the sapwood or the hardwood furnitures made from sapwood are more economically useful or has economic benefit or furnitures made from hardwood have more economic benefit. Hardwood as the name suggests it is in the center so it is always hardwood that is more economically beneficial. What is the reason behind? Who forms the hardwood and who forms the sapwood? It is the xylem. Okay, we can be confined with the word xylem because if we are talking about wood, it's nothing but the xylem, right? What we know is younger xylems or sapwood generally keeps on converting to what? Hardwood, no? We know xylem is a tube-like structure. It keeps on conducting water, right? Sometimes some structures called as stylosis, if you remember, right? If it is a tube-like structure, sometimes what happens? Certain balloon-like structures develop and this is what is called as stylosis. Because of stylosis, the conduction gets stopped, right? And ultimately this area becomes dead. Accumulation of dead xylem ultimately forms what? The hardwood, right? So, center of key, if you are talking about a TS like this, the center is always the hardwood and later form xylem is always the sapwood. Another point from anatomy is we know that sapwood always keeps on converting into hardwood. So, it is always the amount of hardwood in a plant that keeps on increasing, right? And obviously, if the hardwood keeps on increasing, the plant will become more economically useful, right? Okay. Now this is important. Ekon NCERT book ase, that chart is there. All important, এটা দুটা important নহয় আৰু quinine to শুনিছা? I think this is very common. শুনিছা নাই? Quinine কি medicine? Antimalarial, no? Obtained from the plant Cinchona, right? Remember this word U3, plant anatomy, no, plant kingdom, gymnosperms. Okay. Which one? Source, dried latex from, dried latex from unripe capsules, capsules capsules of a plant, and the name of the plant is papaver, Papaver. This is the genus name and this is the species name, Sominifera, Sominifera. Okay. Out of everything is important, এইটোৰ ওপৰতো question আহিছে কিন্তু, right? Especially what is important? The name of the drugs and the source. As far as application is concerned, ইমান সোধা নাই. So question directly আহিছে যে morphine is obtained from, quinine is obtained from, vincristin, vinblastine is obtained from, right? So generally what we tend to do is we study the first and the last part we just ignore, but question maximum has been asked about this also, right? So we need to remember this one, vinca or periwinkle. As far as application is concerned, anti-malarial, anti-cancerous, we understand Analgesic mane? This is a word we understand. This is a word we understand. What is the meaning of this word? Pain relief, painkiller. Okay. Huh. Wow. Bark of yew tree. Y-E-W. Yew tree. Yew tree ki hoy? It is nothing but Texas. What is Texas? An example of a gymnosperm. Prothom duta hoise nai? First two ho gol. Number 1 and number 2. Okay. Okay. Number 4 or Vincristine, Vinblastine. Spelling dhoribo parisa? V-I-N-C-R-I-S-T-N. Okay. The source is Rosy, R-O-S-Y, Rosy periwinkle. The name of the plant is periwinkle, P-E-R-I-W-I-N-K-L-E. And as far as the scientific name is concerned, it is Vinca rosea. Clear hoise? Huh. Okay. Next is number 4 hole, no? Number 5 likha reserpine. Reserpine is roots of Rauwolfia. Rauwolfia serpentina. Okol Rauwolfia monot rakhile hobo. অসমীয়াত বাহাকা তিতা শুনিছা? বাহাকা তিতা কাহ হলে খাবলৈ দিয়ে। Schizophrenia, that a disease like mental disorder, schizophrenic patients, mane they don't have a proper control over their brain. Okoman heri type aro. Ka, lungs. So, out of the points that we have written under the heading economic importance, what is important is obviously this chart, and maximum question has been asked from this chart itself, right. So, as usual, again the same line, the figures, the facts and the charts is all that you will study from this chapter, because the chapter itself is not tough to understand. Biodiversity and conservation, if I ask you to write an essay on that topic, you can easily write it, I mean at least 2-3 pages, so GK oriented you can write it down, right. But that is not important. What is important? Obviously the figures, the percentages and the chart. And out of this, as I have said, the name of the drug and the source, very important. So, because of these economic, yeah, please say. Kwa? Huh? Okkoman laheke kwa na? Ki bostu? Rauwolfia vomitoria aru Rauwolfia serpentina species gita beleg. Beleg species gita beleg. ঠিক আছে স্পেচিছ দুইটা বেলেগ বেলেগ right reserpine quantity লৈ পেলাই কিমান এমাউণ্টত আছে right that is also a point which differentiates both the species Rauwolfia vomitoria আৰু Rauwolfia serpentina Rauwolfia plant ডালত reserpine পাবাই কিন্তু কিমান এমাউণ্টত পোৱা that is one point of difference between the two species বুঝি পালানে okay I think this is over okay now the next topic is something called as the red list since we are talking about loss of diversity we are talking about conservation we have to talk about certain words called as extinct species, vulnerable species, etc., right? So, we have something called as right. So, IUCN has come up with a book-like structure that is, I mean the proper word would be a catalog. Do you remember the word catalog? Living World, we have done that word, right? So, they have come with a book-like structure or they have come up with a book or a catalog which have all the names of the organisms that are extinct, that are facing extinction and that needs to conserve, right? If you are talking about an extinct species, we cannot do anything because it has already been extinct, right? But the book tells us about the different names of plants and the animals that are facing extinction. If you are talking about facing extinction, you have to know about either they are facing extinction immediately at this moment or they are facing extinction a little later, maybe it's immediate extinct hoi jabo ne kedin manor pisor extinct hobo, right? Accordingly, so we have a catalog, we have a book where you see the names of plants and animals that are facing extinction and that has been extinct. This is what is called as the red list. Who has prepared the red list? It is always the IUCN who has come up with a red list, and this red list has certain types of categories. What are the categories we will be discussing? So, etu heading ot likha the IUCN full form to nalage sake full form parim no So the IUCN has classified the rare species of plants and animals into different categories, and while they have done, or while they have divided the organisms into categories, what are the factors that they have concerned or they have talked about is, they have talked about the distribution of the species, the number that is present at this moment, about the habitat, and obviously about the value. So these are the factors that they have taken into consideration: distribution, then decline in the number, habitat and value. On these 4 factors they have come out with a book, and the book is called as Red List. Ekin likhi lo, pisot ami likhim. Okay, what is a catalog? Words like flora, manual, catalog, these are the things that we have studied in Living World, or you all have studied about it. What is a catalog? Flora is a book, manual is also a book, catalog is also a book. When will you call a book to be a catalog? When it has informations of plants and animals in the form of dash, in the form of a proper list, right? So you can have the names of organisms in arranged accordingly or arranged in an alphabetical order. You can have the names of organisms arranged in a haphazard order, right? You choose a particular habitat, whatever organisms you see, you write it in a book. That could be one form of writing a book. Other way of writing a book is you select that habitat, you see the organisms alphabetically, you arrange them and then you write it down. The other way around, maybe you select that habitat, you take the organisms and you make the, or you put the names according to a proper list. Maybe number 1 is this, number 2 is this, number 3 is this, etc., etc. A book that has information in the form of a list, in the form of a proper list, is called as a catalog. So listing to ami janu no, what is a list? Arranging something into proper sequence, no, 1 2 3 4 teneke jodi bhalke ekhon prepare kora ba plan kora, that is what is called as a listing. Jodi heitu format or thake tak ami ki boli kom catalog, right? So this book according to IUCN has 8 red list categories, and what are the categories hetu likhibo lagibo. So all the organisms or all the names of organisms that are included in this catalog, right, has been divided into 8 sections, right? These sections are said to be as categories, no? Jimanbur naam ase, kisuman naam kot thakibo, extinct or thakibo, kisuman naam extinct in the wild or thakibo, right? So these are the sections that is present in this book. What is this? This is a book, or actually this is a catalog. What is the contents? It is, or it has all the informations of the organism that are supposed to be rare, or maybe they are facing extinction or already extinct. You get all the information in a particular book. So what are the categories? So you have certain organisms that are considered to be extinct, extinct species, extinct plant, etc. The next category is something called as extinct in the wild. Extinct and extinct in the wild, both of them have 2 different meaning. If you are talking, okay, we'll be writing about the definitions or episode likhim. So organisms has been classified under these headings, right? So there are certain organisms that falls into this category, certain into this, etc., etc. Out of the categories that we have written, some of the words are common and you have already heard about it. Maybe the most common being, this is a word that you have heard, extinct hunisa, critically endangered. Critically endangered, nukunilo, endangered is something that you have heard, right? You have also heard this word, vulnerable, right? But apart from those 3 or 4, we have certain others also. But from examination point of view, obviously the common is important. What is important? Extinct, critically endangered, and vulnerable, right? Egitar upor basic questions pudha nai. So the questions has not been asked about these 3. So what is important is this one, and this one. 1 2 3 4, right? Now what is the difference between these? So we'll be writing it down. So heading koriba extinct. Extinct means what? You find that organism or you do not find that organism. You will never see that organism again, right? That is what is called as extinct. Extinct in the wild means people has gone for a survey, they have tried to find that organism in the wild, right? in the forest or in their natural habitats, they could not find it, but they are not sure whether there are domesticated species also. There might be certain organisms which are still domesticated and they might not be found in the forest, right. So, when the scientists or the workers went for a survey, they have tried to search that organism in the forest. They said that that particular species is not found. So, that is what is called as extinct in the wild. That does not mean it is completely extinct, because they do not have any idea regarding, maybe someone might domesticate also. Kobat somewhere in the world, kunubai to tak domesticate koribo pare, maybe it is present somewhere, right. So, that is the basic difference between extinct and extinct in the wild. So, the first is তোমার এক সেকেন্ড, তোমার ভয়েসটো ক্ৰেক কৰিছে আৰু এবাৰ সোধা। হা, কোৱা। হা, অঁ অঁ সেইটো এক্সটিংক্ট ৱাইল্ড নহয়, তাতো ডিপেণ্ড কৰিব যে তুমি জুত যদি থৈছা, ইজ ইট দ্য অনলি ওৱান ডেট ইজ প্ৰেজেণ্ট, ৰাইট, আৰু বাকী ক'তোৱে নাই, ঠিক আছে। চ' এক্সটিংক্ট ইন দ্য ৱাইল্ড বাহিৰত ক'তো দেখা নোপোৱা, অকল জু কেইখনমানতহে দেখা পোৱা, দেন ইট ইজ এক্সটিংক্ট ইন দ্য ৱাইল্ড, অ'কে। When exhausted surveys have failed to record any individual, তাৰমানে ফৰেষ্টত যিমানবোৰ সাৰ্ভে হৈছে সেই স্পিচিজৰ কোনো ইণ্ডিভিজুৱেল বিচাৰি পোৱা নাই, that is what is called as extinct in the wild, okay. just pay attention or pay interest to the words that has been ticked, right? You don't have to remember the whole sentence, it is just a word that you will remember. Immediate future, near future. Extinct means no more, or living species nupua, living members nupua, everyone has died, right? Extinct in the wild, not important. Critically endangered, endangered and vulnerable. 8 inta uporte maximum question ahise. The question obviously does not come like this, that what is the definition of critically endangered, or maybe what is the definition of endangered. So the question to keneke ahe, organism facing extinction in the immediate future is, immediate future what to dekhile, you have to say that we are talking about critically endangered. Organism facing extinction in the near future. There is a difference between immediate future and near future. What is the difference? Who is more vulnerable? I mean, who is facing an easy extinction or early extinction? Critically endangered. No, as compared to this, yar okman homoy ase. As compared to this, it has time, right? So you have to remember immediate, near and medium. Medium term. Sure. So 8 inta important basically. No doubt the note is very lengthy, but from this portion only the 3 words: immediate, near and medium, right? Hey tinta word pohile hol. Iblak to just for the sake of writing, we are writing it down. You don't have to. What next is again the examples of extinct, example of critically endangered, etc. that is given in your NCERT, right? Ako hey example kita janibo laibo. So after this, we'll just write the examples of threatened species. Non-evaluated, nothing to write. Non-evaluated means what? Eko study हुआ ही नहीं, eko survey हुआ ही नहीं, right? So as I said, you have to make a short note, right? So short note what ki likhiba? From this section, you'll just write those 3 terms. Now, the examples that are given in your NCERT. Very important. Sus salvinus, S-U-S, genus name S-A-L-V-A-N-I-U-S, the scientific name for pygmy hog. Right? Out of the different examples that you see in the chart, questions kihor pra ahise. Question has been asked about Barbaris from the plant section. It is only on this that the question has been asked. Baki dutar upor iman aha nai. But from the animal section, all. Right? You have to remember this scientific name. You have to remember this name also, pygmy hog. You have to, and from this scientific name or information aha nai. Red panda is a word that you need to remember, and from this again antelope also, black buck also, right? So it is the animal section that the question has been asked more. apart from these there are some others also. এইটো part হৈছে নেকি? হৈছে ন? Again nothing but by heart, উপায় নাইকিয়া, right? Direct question আহিছে এটা চাবা, and out of this one and this one. So up till here what we have discussed is we have talked about the meaning of the topic, what are the levels of biodiversity, what are the patterns of biodiversity. We also come across something called as loss of biodiversity, what are the causes for the loss, we have discussed that, and something called as a red list. Who prepares the red list? It is always by IUCN. What is there in the red list? Informations about the rare species, under how many categories? Under 8 categories. What are the 8 categories? Out of the 8 categories, from examination point of view, it's the 4 that is important. Extinct or generally one question nahe, but those 3 words are very important, right? And obviously these are important because it's given properly in the NCERT book. So ekhini portion of question I have. So I think that's all for today. In the next class what we will talk about is conservation strategies, right? We know that we have to conserve, but whenever we talk about conservation, 2 words comes to our mind, that is in situ conservation and ex situ. So we will be talking about in situ conservation keneke korim aru ex situ conservation keneke korim, right? Thank you.